guys, gals, and non-binary pals. GM Potter here, and I am back after taking a small vacation. I went up to Maine to visit a friend of mine, and we took a couple days trip down to Salem, Mass, which was absolutely amazing, phenomenal. I'm back though, and let's get into some books. So today we will be going over The League of Gentlewomen Witches, which is the follow-up to the Society of Lady Scoundrels, which I was very excited for this. I actually pre-ordered this book, and it came out March 15th. Before I left, it may have changed. It had a 4.23 on Goodreads. I would give it a solid 5 stars. It's better than the first one. It's a lot saucier, it's a lot spicier, which for this kind of chick lit romance book, I definitely appreciate. In my notes here up at the top, I have magical, endearing, and filled with anachronisms in the best possible way. So this one, if you've ever been around a Renaissance fair or a Society for Creative Anachronism or done any LARPing, there's always special care and love given to creative anachronism, to doing things that are not historically accurate, but with a loving kind of tongue-in-cheek kind of a way. And this is definitely one of those. So our main characters are Charlotte Pettifer and Alex O'Reilly. It's a Romeo and Juliet style romance, minus the body count, which we've got pirates and lady pirates and magics and witches, and it's just beautiful. I love it. With piratic adventure, spellbinding magic, and plenty of Jane Austen references, which, as you may or may not remember, Jane Austen's Mansfield Park is my favorite book. This one kind of goes more into Pride and Prejudice than Mansfield Park, but it is still utterly delightful. Something that I'm very happy that the author did in their follow-up book, which I found utterly charming in the first book. We have the cast of significant characters right here. Oop, pardon my nails, I've been cleaning all day. But we have the list of characters, and it goes through everybody who's in the book. And then, boop, she did this happiness here, which is essentially spoiling the chapter without spoiling the chapter. So I'll skip to a random chapter and spoil it for you without spoiling it for you. Charlotte finds much to entertain her: an unexpected problem, flying lessons, family jewels, the disappointment of an untroubled childhood, Clacton on sea, Alex is irrational, a lively discussion, ghost of mischief past. Which, having read the book, that is huge spoilers for the book. But those of you who haven't read the book have no idea what I'm talking about. And even as you're reading along, there's several places where you're reading along and you get to the next chapter and you read that and you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen. And then India Holton does a fantastic job of subverting those expectations, and I absolutely adore it. Plot ideas in this one. We have Miss Charlotte Pettifer, who is a witch, and unlike the League of Lady Scoundrels, who are pirates, witches and pirates have a very much Hatfields and McCoys kind of relationship, that to outsiders looking in, they're the same thing almost, but where they're concerned with each other, they are very, very different. So, they both derive their powers from the same kinds of incantations from Beryl, the person who discovered how to make the houses fly, who we learned more about in the last book. We learned a little bit about her in this book too. But the witches don't fly houses. They'll take anything up into the air. They'll fly brooms. They'll fly parasols. Anything they like. Whereas the pirates only fly structures. So they'll fly hot dog carts or houses or manors or castles, but they won't fly smaller things. They have an air of respectability about them, where the witches are a little bit more déclassé. So we have that, and the inciting incident is that there is a jewel that belonged to Beryl on display in the London Museum. So they, and the witches and the pirates are all conspiring against one another to steal it. And Charlotte is the proclaimed heir to Beryl, the rightful heir, and therefore should be the one to steal it as far as the witches are concerned. Well, the pirates have their own ideas and their own thoughts of what should be going on. So they have little bit different idea what of who should steal it. Like I said, everybody's plotting to steal it. It's a lot of whippy repartee. Kind of reminds me of Gilmore Girls in that it's very fast-paced dialogue. That it's very, and I love that. Gilmore Girls, of course, has its own problems. Hasn't stood the test of time as far as I'm concerned, but this I think will, because it doesn't deal with things in such an icky way. Anyway, it gets stolen. Lady Armitage, who is the villain from the last book. Anyway, a Lady Armitage is the one to, and as you can hear, my cat is scratching in the background. Good scratchies, babies. Good job. So, cat mom life, am I right? So, Lady Armitage steals the jewel and takes off, and Charlotte and Alex go after it. Alex, of course, being a pirate, not a witch, and Charlotte is like, "Oh, you're my prisoner." He's like, "No, you're get out of my house. I'm trying to go steal this." And they have a very tense, like it's very much the enemies to lovers trope, but in the best possible way. They even do the one bed trope, which I love the one bed trope. It's one of my favorites. My favorite is probably enemies to lovers, and then friends to lovers, and then we have the one bed trope, which is so silly and so ridiculous. Like, I've shared beds with people in a platonic way on road trips and stuff. Like, it's not hard. But of course, when there's sexual tension, okay. Anyway, so it goes on, and it's so raunchy and so saucy and so utterly delightful. And our main character, Charlotte, loves to read, and she goes on and on about, well, what would Jane Austen's heroines do? And she's got the voices in her head are all Jane Austen heroines, which is utterly fantastic. I love it. It does have a happy ending. It's not the ending that you think we're going to get, and it's not the ending that you kind of hope we're going to get. It's a completely different ending, at least as far as my reading went, but I found it utterly enchanting and beautiful. So give this one a try. I will include an affiliate link to the affiliate Amazon link for it down below. Give this one a try. It's not mentally taxing. It's not hard to read. It's very much a fun, say you're going to the beach. This would be the ultimate beach read, I think. So this is utterly fun, utterly delightful. 5 stars. Give it a chance and see what I'm talking about. So, have you read any of India Holden's books, either of them? If you have, or if you haven't, or if you plan to, or even if you don't plan to, let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!